once upon a time, I thought that artificial intelligence, among with millions of other people, would come to take my job. But what I came to realize after actually exploring these tools is that these tools aren't going to come and take your jobs. They're going to enhance your ability to make decisions. And those who make the best decisions obviously get the best output from their decisions. So what I want to do in this video is show you how I went from once being someone that thought I was a terrible manager and couldn't set up and maintain systems and projects and tasks and things like this into becoming someone that is now setting up an entire project system with a wiki and everything like that, and I'm able to assign and hire the right people to run that entire system and my entire company in the most efficient way possible using data and AI. So with that being said, I made a tweet here talking about how I just built a Claude automation that extracts live company data about my employees and contractors and automatically assigns them new tasks or projects based on their profile. And so that's exactly what I'm going to do in this video. So starting off, what I have done is I've actually taken a managerial framework that I learned in the book Principles by Dalio. And he talks about how a bunch of different people have different personality types or different strengths and weaknesses, and you can actually put them together in a pretty data sciencey type of way to get an incredible result. And basically what Steve Jobs says is create a company where the sum of all its the sum output is greater than all its parts or something like this, right? But the point is that I've taken the Principles U test that he actually recommends in his book, and I have given it to all of my team members, and I give it to all of my new hires as well to make sure that they or understand each other, and I can also understand them as the manager that needs to make the decisions. So then what I did is I actually created a Team Principles U profile dashboard inside my Notion that is connected up with Claude. If you want to see how I created these dashboards, you can go watch my other videos where I show you how I'm using Claude to actually create entire systems way more complex than this with relational databases, documented processes, and SOPs as well. Go watch that in my other videos. But the point is that this is where I'm hosting all of the data about all of my employees, contractors, so we can figure out who to hire, when to hire them, and what projects are going to be best to jump on. And of course, for existing hires too, what projects are going to be best to jump on. So what I'm going to show you here is how I prompted it. I basically said, analyze my Notion workspace for the Team Principles U database, and based off of that, suggest who would be the best to run the Upwork outreach dashboard system and why. As you can see, it goes through, runs through all of this. And the analysis of team profiles is that Ivan basically is a planner, orchestrator, strategist, gives you his key strengths and his growth areas, so he becomes less patient with less organized people. Nick Chapman is a commander, he's a quiet leader, and he's someone that actually prefers to let people do the work for him and lead quietly. He's someone that is confident in his own abilities, etc., etc. So then here is me, shaper, growth strategist, and my weaknesses are sensitivity to others and humor. So take from that what you will. But my point is that it then goes through the requirements for the Upwork outreach dashboard system again, which is in Notion that I have built in some of my other videos you can check out. It's a very complex system, requires heavy tracking of KPIs, and it requires heavy following of orders. So you can already understand who's going to be good for this, but it confirms my suspicions that Ivan is going to be the best person for this role, right? So relevant strengths, alignment with system needs. He's a planner, orchestrator with strategic secondary archetypes. Ivan has a perfect profile for managing a systematic outreach process that requires attention to detail, organization, and strategic thinking. So he has extremely high scores in being detailed and reliable, so that aligns perfectly with the meticulous nature and criteria that is required for the Upwork system. Has a practical approach of 93 where it's just getting it done, right? Practicality. We don't need to do anything crazy. We already know the system works, so just need someone to run it, okay? And his deliberative nature, 99, would ensure through a thorough assessment of potential clients. And I've seen that in his work already, right? So he's been trialed with me for the past month or two, and I've seen that. It's very deliberate. Everything has a reason, right? So with that being said, you can see it says like, while Nick has these attributes and while Toby has these attributes, Ivan is going to be the best, right? So I assign Ivan instantly to that system dashboard, and I can do that through Claude. But what I want to do is I want to show you furthermore basically how I can extract details, and get Claude to basically answer some of my more managerial questions, which is, I'm bringing on a new client. Can you extract details about Nick Chapman from my Notion workspace and tell me if he's a good fit to head that new client's campaign? The client has editors who need to be managed to increase video output. This is just an example, and let's see what it comes up with. And you can see this is just enhancing my ability to make decisions and reducing the level of decision fatigue that I am having as a manager, which I previously thought was one of my weaknesses, right? I really thought that managing people was a huge weakness for me, and now this has turned into a really high leverage activity. And if I'm to tell you a secret, I've already been running that outreach dashboard with Ivan, and this managerial system has just absolutely confirmed what data I'm seeing, which is that we are getting incredible results through Ivan, or I'm getting incredible results within my organization. So you can see that search for mentions of Nick Chapman. Great, I found a personality profile in the Notion workspace. Let's look at it deeper to understand his skills and attributes. Let's check if there are any other page related to Nick, and then we can see if Nick is listed as an employee or team member. Let's check the content team structure page to understand the role that Nick currently has as well. So it's going to check inside other databases that I have what Nick's role is. So when we're working with other clients, we basically assign an account manager, right? So the client can see who's doing what, which editor is doing what, and things like this. So it's going to see, okay, Nick has already got a role, right? How does that benefit what he's already doing? So it's just getting context about Nick beyond even the principles you test. So I'm going to let this run. I'm going to let this continue, and we're going to see what it looks like. So now that's ran for another 30 seconds. I'll recap a little bit before I go over the key findings, but basically, let's actually search for information about Nick's past roles in the databases or experience in leadership. Let's also search for any mention of Nick in other team projects, and let's look at Nick's principles U profile to get a better understanding of his leadership style, right? Because this is a leadership role, okay? I just need him managing people, which he's done in the past, right? Hint, hint. So key findings about Nick Chapman. So primary archetype, commander, strong leadership. Qualities is that he's decisive and authoritative. So you get all the details here. Growth areas, letting others lead, avoiding burnout, sensitivity to others' needs, and giving praise and appreciation. So other notable traits is actually the more positive ones here, right? And then assessment for the role, strengths for this position, potential challenges, and then recommendations. Nick Chapman appears to be a very strong fit for leading your social media marketing clients' campaigns, particularly managing editors to increase video output. His commander archetype combined with exceptional skills in leadership, reliability, and composure makes him ideally suited to drive production efficiency and maintain high quality standards. The secondary shaper archetype suggests he can bring innovation and different approaches to the content strategy. So, final recommendations, proceed with Nick Chapman for this role. His exceptional leadership qualities and reliability are precisely what's needed to effectively manage editors and increase video output for your client. The identified growth areas are manageable and can be addressed through team structure and feedback mechanisms. So I can then continue to go and ask questions and say, what are some things that I can expect from Nick? What are some areas that I can basically improve on myself to manage Nick better, right? And that's kind of the whole idea of this, is that you can have one Notion database, and you don't need to actually update like a chatbot in order to access or get access to the information and the insights that we're getting here. It's just live data from your company CRM or wiki or whatever it looks like. So with that being said, if you want to talk about some practical yet innovative solutions that I'm generating with AI and can generate for you to enhance your own decision making as a business owner, I would love to hear from you, and I would love to chat with you, because I think this is a very big revolution that's happening right now, and I'm positioning myself right in the middle where I can help key business leaders leverage their highest form of leverage themselves, which is their judgment. So reach out to me on Twitter. That's the best place to find me, and we'll go from there. Cheers.